Youth at 18 is sweet and tender, like a soft candy melting on the tongue. The fiery yet innocent passion of adolescence, sooner or later, everyone must pass through it. The night was gentle. Neon lights flickered across the bright city, flashing with the rhythm of the music. Multicolored lights reflected on people's faces, giving everyone a touch of brilliance, as if they were wrapped in the glow of a festival. Cars sped down the street, crowds rushed by, but smiles lingered everywhere after a long day. The Taylor residence, luxurious, intricate, known for its refined architecture. Tonight, the lights were even more dazzling because it was the 18th birthday of Nina Taylor. Luxury cars lined up outside the gate. Guests stepped inside in groups, bringing warm and joyful wishes. Nina's father, Harold Taylor, dressed in a navy suit, wore a kind yet authoritative expression. He greeted guests one by one. Hannah Taylor, Nina's half-sister, stood beside him, observing everyone with careful eyes. When Nina was 5, her mother passed away. Her father later married Amelia, and from then on, a second little family quietly formed inside the home. Hannah, Amelia's daughter, grew up with Nina, but because affection had to be divided, a subtle jealousy always flickered between them. During the party, Hannah walked toward Darren Quill with a glass of wine. "Darren, drink with me, just one." Darren glanced around as if looking for someone. Not seeing who he wanted, he finally looked at Hannah. She wore a striking red dress, leaning slightly to catch his attention. Her voice was soft and melodious. "Just one glass, okay." Darren didn't want to refuse and reluctantly clinked his glass with hers. But Hannah suddenly tightened her grip on his hand, making him pause. "Are you all right?" "I'm fine." Not far away, Amelia watched and gestured for Hannah to come over. As soon as Darren left, Amelia leaned in and quietly reminded her daughter, "Only do it when I say everything is certain. You know what to do next. Don't let Darren keep thinking about Nina, do you understand?" "Yes, mother." The hall filled with the voice of a young MC. Everyone turned toward the stage. "Good evening, everyone. Thank you for joining us tonight. Now, let us welcome the star of the evening." Easton Cole, Harold's close friend, raised his glass with a warm smile. "Nina, happy birthday, my dear." Nina bowed gratefully, her eyes curved like a young crescent moon. Suddenly, the crowd turned toward the grand entrance. A sleek black Lamborghini stopped outside. The car door opened, and a man stepped out, tall, imposing, his aura cold, his face like it was sculpted from the night itself. The moment he saw Nina descending the staircase, her pink-white dress flowing like moonlight beneath her, his gaze darkened. Surprised, yet faintly captivated. Then he smirked. Harold hurried over to greet him. The man's assistant, Evan Nash, handed over a box. "This is a gift from Mr. Leon Hartman. He hopes you will accept it." Harold stiffened. Someone like Leon Hartman rarely sent gifts personally. His hands trembled slightly as he received the elegant box. Before the car left, Evan added, "Mr. Hartman also asked me to tell you. The Hartman elders miss you deeply." The party continued vibrantly. Harold looked at his daughter, overwhelmed with emotion. He once promised Nina's mother he would care for Nina, protect her the best he could. Nina hugged her father and smiled. "Don't cry, Dad, I'm really happy today." The marriage between Nina and Darren had been arranged by both families long ago. From the first moment he met her, Darren had wanted to marry her. He believed that with sincerity, she would eventually open her heart. But in Nina's clear, bright eyes, there was always a quiet sorrow he could never reach. "I didn't see him this afternoon. That boy, always disappearing without a word." After nearly 12 hours, the party finally ended. Harold instructed the servants to bring the gifts to Nina's room. Then he and Amelia went upstairs to rest. Ethan Lancaster and his wife Yara were sitting on the sofa sipping hot tea. Ethan chuckled as he told his wife that their beloved son would soon be home. Yara hadn't even swallowed her sip of tea. Yet she choked and coughed, tea spraying everywhere. Ethan panicked, immediately helping her wipe her hands with gentle care. "Honestly, I was just as shocked as you," Ethan said, rubbing her wrist affectionately. "That boy, He's unpredictable. Hot one day, cold the next. He carefully brushed the tea stain from her fingers and kissed the back of her hand. This isn't like him at all, Ethan murmured. For him to come back to the Lancaster estate in the middle of the night, something serious must have happened. He tossed the tissue into the bin, took another sip of tea, and his expression turned solemn. I'm very curious, he admitted. Whatever it is, must be important. Yara sat quietly beside him, lost in thought. Not long after, the sound of a luxury sports car echoed through the courtyard. The sleek black vehicle rolled through the Lancaster gate. Both Ethan and Yara immediately stood up, anxious. The car stopped. The door opened. A man stepped out tall, impeccably dressed in a tailored black suit, every movement sharp and elegant. His chiseled jawline, the cold intensity in his deep brown eyes, and the midnight black hair swaying slightly in the night breeze made him seem carved from darkness itself. Even his polished leather shoes shimmered under the porch light. His entire presence radiated power. This was Aidan Cole, Honedoc's cold, impossibly capable assistant. But Ethan and Yara weren't focused on Aidan only, the figure approaching behind him. Before Aidan could enter, they heard a familiar voice. Evan, come in. Yara rushed forward to grab her son's arm, half scolding, half emotional. It's been weeks since you last visited, she nagged affectionately. Do you know how much your father and I miss you? Come in, sit down. I'll warm up dinner for you. She hurried into the kitchen while Evan Lancaster, tall, cold, stunningly handsome, sat down on the sofa opposite his father. Ethan crossed one leg over the other, his expression a mix of pride and irritation. Evan, Ethan said seriously, you came back because there's something important you want to discuss with us, right? In the business world, Ethan Lancaster was the man who built the entire Lancaster Corporation. When he retired, he handed the full empire casinos, entertainment clubs, offshore investments, luxury resorts to his son. Under Evan's leadership, Lancaster Corp grew exponentially. People on the outside assumed he inherited the company. But insiders knew. Evan Lancaster earned every bit of his throne. Even Aidan, who served him closely, feared and respected him to the core. But Evan simply stared at his father with that calm, unreadable expression. I just wanted to join you and Mum for dinner, he said. Ethan blinked. He didn't expect that answer at all. Yara came back carrying dishes, calling them to the dining table. Dinner's ready, Evan. Take off your jacket, it's hot. Honestly, you're always wearing these heavy black outfits. You're suffocating me just by looking at you. Ethan nodded vigorously, signaling his agreement. But Evan's voice remained cold and quiet. I'm used to it. His parents exchanged helpless looks. They knew their son was stubborn to the bone. Once they were seated at the table, Yara couldn't hold back anymore. Evan, she began carefully, when will you give your father and me a grandchild? We're getting older. At least let us meet your future wife before we die. Ethan nodded enthusiastically. That's right, son, we're not picky. Whoever she is, whatever family she comes from, will support you completely. Both parents leaned forward, eyes shining with hope. Evan finally looked up, wiped the corner of his mouth slowly, and said in an icy voice, I already have someone. Yara froze. Ethan choked on his steak so violently that Aidan, standing nearby, flinched. For a whole second, neither parent spoke. Finally, Yara sputtered, wait, did we hear that correctly?